Man, fuck the Department of Health. Like, it was my daughter. It's been past 10 days. Stop fucking contacting me. Because CJ got COVID at school, they report it, right? So we got like contact tracers and stuff like that. So I get like Sacramento County Health sends me a thing every single day about it. And like I've been saying, like, nobody is sick anymore. And they still send it to me.
Okay. Hey, almost had a drop. Almost had a drop. See, not that anybody can see it. So, if you are watching us live, hello. You can't see us yet.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Don't want to see what I'm doing right now.
Everybody hear everything okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us?
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
What?
It's a little faint.
If you want to go like down on the wall, there's the you're going to be on the far either left or right.
I'm not going to worry about
I
it.
can turn you up a little bit. That's what I'm going to say. I can turn you up just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. All right. So we're running a smidge early, which is fine. Drop that on the way in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Thankfully, it's a Celsius, but it's thankfully it's the shaking is done.
Oops.
There we go.
There you go.
It was in a side pocket on the backpack, and I leaned over to grab something,
And it fell out.
and it fell out.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's much better mic placement for me. I can hear me better.
I can see you better.
Sure. Here we are.
It's because I'm wearing glasses.
Down in the little thing. I left mine in the other room, so we'll see. Hopefully, I don't have to squint too much for this. All right. Hello,
everyone.
Let me get rid of this, and I say, hey.
Hi.
Kareem, can you scoot over a little bit toward Jason? There. That way everybody can see you.
You can get closer.
Yeah, just a little bit. No. It's all right.
Just a little bit.
All right. Welcome into the WTH podcast for the first time in...
Months.
Yeah, since September.
Our buddy Kevin has COVID.
No.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the COVID club, my friend.
Yeah. And everybody around him has had it except for him.
Well, now you're part of the group. Hopefully, he's vaccinated, so hopefully it's a minor inconvenience as opposed to, the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky. Everybody in the house had it, and I guess I still had the antibodies from when I had it back in June, and when I got and then I got the booster in September. So
yeah, yep. I'm fully vaxxed and boosted and everything else, and so let's. It's been a hot minute. It's been September. That was not our intention.
That was not an.
It was not our intention at all. But there's been a lot that's come up. But before we get to everything there, some shocking, I guess, news. Jay Leno was seriously burned in a car fire. It was a TMZ exclusive. He has told TMZ as of around 4 o'clock today, Pacific time, I got some serious burns from a gasoline fire. I'm okay. Just need a week or two to get back on my feet. So,
Wow.
Yeah, he's in a burn center. He suffered some serious injuries to his face. Thankfully, it did not get into his eye or his ear. So it was apparently working on a car in his shop. And when you say his shop, it's like a warehouse full of cars.
It is a sound stage.
Yeah, and one of them burst into flames, which, I mean, when you're dealing with internal combustion engines, that can happen.
Especially when you're tooling around on them. Like, you're doing all kinds of stuff that's kind of...
Yeah, but he was working on it in his shop.
No, right. But I you've seen guys work on cars. Like,
Yeah.
they're spraying, like, car, stuff into the carbs sometimes. They get it going. Like,
Yeah.
you're doing all kinds of... When you're working on cars, that's a...
Yeah, and an internal combustion engine, for those who aren't familiar, the combustion is an explosion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Normally interior of the engine. And if you've got the carburetor off and you're spraying something in there, not that that's what he was doing, because I don't know for sure.
Right.
then the combustion or explosion can take place outside the engine. And
So you could be spraying something in it. Sometimes you pour gas in there.
I mean, so I just know from when I know people have been working on cars and they've gotten burnt. It's been in situations of that nature.
sure. Yep. Absolutely. Hold on. We've got a comment here. Let's see what the comment says. Hey, from Facebook user. My guess is that's J Red the King, who, if it is, he has new music out. So check him out.
Okay.
Check him out where you get tunes. And on his socials, he's been wearing a lot of Angels caps. He's got more Angels caps than I do, but he's not a fan.
Yeah.
He's a fan of the fashion, not a fan of the team. Hey, I'll take it. So now that we've gotten the Jay Leno news out of the way, what have you guys been up to? It's been a hot minute. Jason, I'll start with you.
Well, a big part of it was taking care of a family that had COVID because I was the healthy one. So, yeah. So it was about 12, 15 days.
Yikes.
But I mean, like, luckily everybody had it. Like, honestly, the girls, it was more difficult because you couldn't take them places, when they had it. That was because that they were only sick for one day. Like both of them.
Oh, okay.
Both of them like had a fever for one day. That was it. A little bit of a cough that followed that, but that was it. Like 2 days later, there was like nothing, but we still couldn't do anything.
Right.
And if we went out after that 5 days, you still have to wear a mask, which we always do. But still, it's like, do we even want to go out if it's possible? You know what I mean? Like, let's just stay. Anyhow, so that's what it did. A lot of that. I've been playing video games, trying to find, a good one because there's not a whole lot coming out right now on the Xbox. The pandemic really fucked up a lot of the games that I thought I'd be playing this year.
Darn you, pandemic. Ruining Jason's life in a weird way.
Yeah, I know. So I started playing Elden Ring again. Actually, I started playing this game that it's called Vampire...
Penguin?
No, Vampire Assassins, I think, or something like that. It's a really like lo-fi pixel game, and you can't even make the people like the actions happen in it. Like it just automatically and you're just kind of controlling it, and there's hordes of bats and animals and stuff like that are coming at you, and all you're doing is running around, and you're not like. And it's a game that's like a sensation right now because it's ridiculous. It's called a roguelite, which is a game where you die. It's expected that you're going to die a lot.
Sure.
So you get to keep things. Like there's certain things you're earning while you're doing it that you can then purchase power-ups and stuff like that to make your characters. And this one has lots of characters that you unlock. So playing that, I was really surprised that how much fun I was having playing that. But it's also a quick game. There's something to be said that's something you can pick up and play for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Get in it, get out of it quick. Because when you play Elden Ring, man, like you're definitely looking at getting into something for at least an hour.
Kind of like this story.
Yeah.
I've missed doing that.
Oh, yeah.
It's mean, it's uncalled for, and I've missed it just a little bit.
Other than that, I mean, honestly, like I had so much apprehension and stress going into last week just because of politics.
Oh, yeah.
So when I went to bed on Monday night, I was dreading waking up on Tuesday, which has only been something that's really been a worry for me in the last 6 years. I never used to like.
Well, how long have you been sober?
Well, no. Okay, yeah, you're right.
So let's table that. Okay. We'll talk about election day, election week, election stuff going forward is a separate thing.
I did get to practice my not being a dick and not getting myself involved in what's going to be an argument. You know what I mean? Like, so I was visiting with my cousin this weekend. My cousin's father-in-law was there, and he's an ex-Marine, Trump supporter, like to the T. And there was a conversations going on. I just was staying away. I was just staying away because I know that the dude baits. He likes to to put, throw something out to pull it in and get you.
He's a master at it.
He's a master at it, at baiting you. Yeah. So anyhow, so I walk out of the room and I come back in and he's talking about the Irish. All right. And I know for a fact that the motherfucker, because these people don't fucking understand that this shit is like total white supremacist, white nationalist fucking talking points. And they're talking about shit. And he's like talking about how the Irish were indentured servants and how they were slaves. And nobody ever talks about that, or how, comparing the Irish, and what they're going through in Ireland to, the Catholics and the Protestants. And I was like, hold on a second. I've read a lot of books in the IRA and about the Troubles. So let's talk about what's going on with the Protestants, and I gave him a quick fucking history lesson of what's going on there, and that like the issue with the Protestants and the Catholics, and like the Protestants were English that were just living in Ireland. They were calling themselves Irish, and they were getting all the good jobs. I was like, that's the extent of it. Like it was not a holy or religious war, and he knew that. But I mean, it was just like the idea of calling it I got into it, and then I realized that he was going to get ready to flip it to the next level, and I just stepped away. I just walked away, and I didn't engage. And my aunt had to sit there talking to him the whole night. I felt so fucking bad. But I heard things come up, like I heard talk about how he was Mohawk, had family from the Mohawk, and my cousin, his wife actually did the 23andMe. And it's like 2%, native, like, anyhow. Like I just heard that, like, so he's talking about that, and about how like the Indians weren't like were mean and like killed the white people, like this alternative history that Candace Owens is pushing about Native Americans, which is that like we were like they were the aggressors against us the whole time, and that and it's like what the fuck ever, dude? What fucking stupid people? Then he started getting into trans shit. And this is where my aunt, like, fucking, this is the best part. Because he's like, well, what if the kid, what if your grandson right here, who was right in front of him, said that he was a girl, or they wanted to be a girl, he's identifying. And she's like, if that happened, I would do whatever I need to do to love him and make sure that they felt love. That's. And he looked at, and he like was getting ready to say something. He's like, you know what? You need to stop it right now. We're talking about like this is. Yeah, she stopped the whole thing. Fucking laid it down. Within like 30 minutes, the guy fucking left. Couldn't fucking handle it. Yeah, that's my story. That's what I've been dealing with.
Kareem, what have you been up to?
It's the circle of life, man. The circle of life.
Yeah.
See, I got a piano since we were last here.
That's right.
For my birthday.
Have you been tickling those ivories?
I have not been tickling those ivories because right after I got the piano, me and my girlfriend went to visit my folks in North Carolina for my niece's wedding, which was beautiful. She had a plantation wedding.
Okay.
I did not realize that until we got to the venue. And I looked at my brother Billy and I was like, hey, are we at a plantation wedding? He was like, I think so. But it was cool to see all of the family from that family, because I haven't seen him in like 3 years, or right before COVID. When I was working on a documentary, I saw him, went to Ohio and visited him, but I hadn't seen, like, it hadn't been all of us together in one spot. So my mom loved that. I got a picture of all of us together that I'm going to get framed for her for Christmas, or maybe put on metal. I haven't decided yet, but something like that for her for Christmas. And then I left North Carolina from that, and on my way back, I got a call that my aunt died from dementia. So she had early onset dementia. She died at 64.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of heavy, because at one point she was like, I felt like she was like the only person that wanted me, because at the time I lived with my grandmother, and it was just me and her, and she actually would make the effort to come get me on the weekends, which means she had to drive like an hour from the town she lived in to come get me, to bring me to give me some normalcy for the weekend, and then, bring me back on Sunday. So that happened, which was it was a little difficult to deal with, but went back for that pretty much the week after I got back from North Carolina. It actually ended up being better than I anticipated because I got to see her ex-husband, who was her husband when I was going to visit him, and so it was great to catch up with him. It was good to see her daughters, see my aunt Elaine and her son and her husband Isom. But it also meant that this is my aunt on my biological mother's side, which meant I would have to deal with her. And that actually kind of worked itself out. It was funny how the universe worked that out. So I have an uncle who has knee issues, and I'll skip that one that part for right now. But the lady who's been my mom pretty much my whole life, she decided that she was going to go to the funeral with me. And she went pretty much as my bodyguard to protect me from my bio mom. It was kind of cute to watch because we went to the grave and we came back, and she kind of centered herself at a table where she could keep an eye on her.
Nice, very nice.
So that was pretty. It was pretty. It was cool to see her take that stand for me. And then the other thing has been similar to you, but my issue's been with Kanye and Kyrie. I'm going to say 3 quick things about that.
Okay.
One, the black people that are taking up for the two of them, especially the ones that are taking up for Kyrie, are not Hebrew Israelites. We actually don't really subscribe to what the Hebrew Israelites believe at all. Like generally you see them and you treat them like crazy people on the corner yelling.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the people that are taking up for that and them, like you don't even believe the shit. You just want to be able to argue about something. So that's one thing. Second thing is the Nets the only reason we're at this place with Kyrie Irving is that he didn't return the fucking Nets owner's phone calls. So the general manager and the league wanted to suspend him. The owner did not want to suspend him because he just fired the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so he pretty much had gone all in on the team.
Right.
So he's calling him and texting him for a week. He's not returning his calls. That's how we end up here. So the other part of how we ended up was the Nets themselves not banned him, but they removed him from the press conferences. And then he decided to have an impromptu press conference.
Well, sure. As one does.
Yes. Where instead of just saying, I'm not anti-Semitic and being done with it, he decided to be cute. So this is how we end up here. So, and half of the people that are taking up for him don't even know his history as an NBA player. And they're like, oh, well, I don't understand why the black players aren't taking up for him. Like, if nobody's taking up for him and everybody's talking shit about him, there's a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. And it's not because they're scared or they're tied down by the man. It's because they know who the fuck he is. And they know that next week he's going to do something else stupid.
Yeah, amongst other things, he's also gone through his flat earther phase. Yeah, I already treat Kyrie Irving like a crazy person yelling nonsense on the street corner in that I ignore everything about Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
But it's so weird. We've been away for so long. It's not been that long. It's been like 6 weeks that Kanye West destroyed a $1 billion empire in the time that we were away.
Yes.
He went from being a billionaire to just being a multimillionaire.
Yes.
To essentially being, in a lot of cases, a pariah.
Yes.
And justifiably so. Because not only did he say some shit, he then doubled down on the shit.
But he's also been saying this shit for a little while, and people have been protecting his ass.
Well, yeah, because he wore the MAGA hat. So he's It's all part of that whole thing. No, he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, like no.
Kanye's okay. He likes Trump. He's okay.
Yeah, no, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of craziness going on. Anyway, while we were away, were you done? I'm sorry.
Oh, the
the
last thing I was going to say about that is, and why the fuck are we fighting over whose origin story it is in the first place? It might as well be like, I'm Wolverine. No, I'm Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do the 23andMe test, I haven't seen a black person who has a 23andMe test come back that say that they're actually from Israel. Last part of that.
Okay.
Haven't seen the Jewish people, the person who said it either, but that's neither here nor there.
So while we were away, I went to Denver for the Great American Beer Fest.
Oh yeah.
Which was very scaled down.
Oh yeah.
There was not one last year. And it was very scaled down. In fact, it could have been called the Great Colorado Beer Fest because I would say more than a third of the breweries were just Colorado breweries. There were a variety of others, but the space in the convention center was cut down. The number of breweries that showed up was significantly down. The number of breweries that came from our area was way down from the last time that I went to the Great American Beer Fest, which was 2019. So I went the year before COVID hit. And one of my close friends has moved to Colorado, and he lost his wife in August. And so I was able to go out and spend 5 days with him. In addition to doing that, went to see an Avalanche game, which was it was a preseason Avalanche game, but anytime we can go. Walked all over Denver, literally walked all over Denver, because we parked over by Coors Field and then walked to what used to be called the Pepsi Center. I forget what it's called now. Oh, it's called the Ball Center now.
Ooh, that is a long walk.
Well, and it was further than you think because we went to the Yard House and then back. So we zigged over there. Oh yeah, it was a 20, and then we walked back to where we parked over near Coors Field from the Ball Center. So it was a 25,000 step day.
Yeah, it
was a big day.
That's a long ass walk.
Did you know it was gonna be a long walk like that?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't like our situation where we like went the wrong. I led us the wrong way multiple times.
No. Nope. It was not like that at all. In fact, I bought new shoes upon arriving to Denver. Bought new shoes on the way into town. We stopped at Dick's Sporting Goods and got some of that. So, but here's the fun thing. So I swapped my days at my daughter's preschool because it's a co-op. So one day a week, I am in the classroom with the kids. And I swapped. And so I did Tuesday morning with the kids, got on a plane Tuesday afternoon. Thursday, started to feel a little bit of a cold. My wife texts me. She goes, "We're keeping Sam home from school today. She's sick." That cold lasted for 2 weeks.
Oh, damn.
And the baby, who's a year and a half old, didn't get over it. In fact, he got worse. So he got 2 trips to the doctor's office. He ended up with an ear infection out of that.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was a lot. And if anybody with kids who's had to suction snot out of their nose, now I have a mechanical device that does it. Because someone was asking me, "Do you use the?" But I go, "No, I don't use a straw and suck it out. I do not do that." I held him down, put my forearm on his neck, because that's what you got to do. Because they don't care for that.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They don't care for that. Then I forget exactly why, I had to swap days again with somebody. So instead of doing Thursday, I did Friday. And I got a message on it's the Bright Wheel app, which is how they communicate with us. Monday morning, A student that was in the classroom on Friday tested positive for COVID over the weekend.
Oops.
I did not get COVID. My daughter did not get COVID. We tested negative, but that was right on the heels of all of that. So that's part of the reason why we haven't been here for so long. Jason had COVID in his house. I had a COVID scare. We had sick kids for 2 weeks. Being out of town, Kareem had to go out of town, and it was just like all of that stuff. But yeah, we're back for a little bit. Probably gonna be sporadic for the rest of the year, though. We've got holidays coming up. We have another trip to Great Wolf Lodge. Oh,
yeah. We're going to Colorado for Thanksgiving.
There you go.
Nice.
That's my anniversary falls on Black Friday again.
Yes, we'll be in Colorado. I would rather be shopping.
You can shop in Colorado. They've got stores there.
Yeah, but I'm spending the money that I would be shopping.
Yeah.
With
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. And Jason's anniversary is coming up as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be sporadic the rest of the year, but then we'll hit next year going strong. All right. So let's talk about the election. You mentioned I was like you. It wasn't Tuesday morning. I was afraid to go to bed Tuesday night.
Well, yeah.
To what I would wake up to Wednesday morning. Now, there were indications that the red wave that had been put out there for 2 months by the Republicans was not actually happening. But I was not going to be comfortable with that because I wasn't sure. And this is coming on the heels of, someone breaking into Nancy Pelosi's house and attacking her 82-year-old husband with a hammer.
Yes.
Because he was looking for her, which then led to everybody in the MAGA-sphere spreading dumbass rumors like, it was a gay lovers quarrel. Yeah, because an 82-year-old dude is out at the club with his lover.
They at this point they just make up anything.
Yeah, and it's believed. Yeah. Don Jr.'s tweeting this shit out.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is fucking tweeting this shit out.
Elon Musk. We'll get into Elon really stepping in it. And I'm talking about not spending $44 billion to get fact checked by your own website, which is happening. Not losing all of the value of Twitter, which is happening, not losing all of the advertisers that were really spending the money, including all of the car makers, because, hey, did you know the guy who owns Twitter runs a car company? So all the other car companies said, we're not going to give him money.
Yes.
Because that would be stupid. So that was a big chunk of it. And then he decided, I'm going to charge people $8 for a blue check. That's gone swimmingly. We'll get to all of that in a little bit. But the election itself, and there are still some races out there. We are officially are going to have, at the very least, a 50-50 Senate again. Maybe 51, depending on Georgia.
It's 51.
We'll see. We'll see.
I read an article today why it most likely will be 51, and it's because of is it Abbott? Is that the guy? No, not Abbott. Who's the governor?
Brian Kemp.
Kemp. Yeah, he's not. Kemp's not in the race.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope.
We'll
we'll
see.
Not that he's in the race, but people voting.
We can breathe a sigh of relief because it looks like Carrie Lake will not be the governor of Arizona.
That was
she is full on crazy, and when I see acquaintances of mine putting stuff out on social media like Carrie Lake should be the next vice president, I'm like, fuck are you talking about?
Well, because Trump needs a new running mate.
Of course he does.
Because Mike Pence is going to run against him.
Well, sure.
And so they were talking about either her or Marjorie. So he needs a.
Are they gonna have a crazy off to see who gets to win? I mean, she vacuumed the red carpet for him when he came out. was very proud of that footage. Anyway, Carrie Lake, who is trailing, more ballots keep coming in, and she keeps being behind.
It has been officially called for the Democrat.
Katie Hobbs?
Katie Hobbs. Yes.
Oh, well. Here's what Carrie Lake had to say.
County officials said the counting may continue to happen into next week. Find yourself at the beginning of next week.
I think, Daniel, that we're going to know before then who the winner is. I already know who the winner is, and the winner is me.
Well, she was half right. She was half right. We did know well before then.
Yes.
The winner is not you, you soft focus bitch.
Yes. So the last batch that I saw, it came out. It needed she needed to be over 60% to win, and it was 53-47.
Something that I like. The thing that I was thinking about going into it on Monday night, and kind of the week before that, was this idea of the red wave.
We was ready for
the red wave happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking of like how they poll, like how they do the polling, right? And I knew that I as somebody who wants to take the time and has the time to take those polls, like,
right.
I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, or I do it, and then I can't qualify because my wife works for the government, so I can't do the poll usually. But I know for a fact that people younger than me are most likely not answering the phone and doing any of that shit, right?
No.
And it just fucking pissed me off that, like, first of all, I have had faith in Gen Z. I've doing improv. I've had to work with a lot of people that were in Gen Z. Of course, it's a very specific part of it,
Right.
artistic part, like a very open-minded part. But other people that in that generation I've met have seemed pretty on top, like spot on of being able to tell bullshit. Generally, you know.
Well, they've grown up online. They've seen bullshit online all their lives.
And I've had this idea, and I've known that, and I've always like one of the things I think about is like it's just another learning curve, and they'll be able to tell it a lot better than we are. Just like the people 600 years ago had to get used to seeing the printing press shit and that type of propaganda coming out. It's just new media, and it takes a generation or two to get used to it. That said, seeing friends of ours, one person who used to be a co-host, talking shit about Gen Z in the morning of Tuesday, saying, "Yeah, where are these young kids? Where are these people? Where are they? I don't see any of them." And I don't see her fucking post anything after that saying, and she's somebody that does the hard work. She's doing the work with these kids, so she should know that they fucking know what's going on. And she fucking talks shit. And I knew that they're gonna be there. I hoped that they would be there, and they did. They showed up because they know how. Like they fucking get it.
Well, in California, it's easy to show up because they mail the ballot to your house,
right?
Yeah.
And all you have to do is fill it out and mail it back.
Yeah.
Which is the way it should be. The thing is, with the way the red wave didn't happen, and all you're doing now is seeing Republicans and conservatives and vampires like Stephen Miller talking about how, we have to get rid of this. Mail-in voting was, a COVID thing. And now that COVID is over, we should get rid of that, right? And why should so many people... It's like all they're doing is talking about how to make it harder for people to vote or have fewer people vote, which is a sign that you are not popular.
They wanted to change the voting age to 21.
Voting age to 21. Yeah. They've already gone through and closed a bunch of polling places, specifically where minorities live.
Yes.
That was one of the issues in Georgia, where people were waiting in line for 14 hours in 2020 to vote.
And the Secretary of State in Georgia went and said that there would be early voting for the runoff until Warnock won, and now it's not going to be early voting this Saturday after Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
Well, here's the thing about Georgia. You have Senator Raphael Warnock, who is a pastor. He's a sitting senator. He's a man of God. He's a man of knowledge. And Herschel Walker is a man of football and other things.
I can promise you, Iran, Russia, and they're not talking about trying to charge a tank out in the desert. They're talking about war. And let me tell you this even. If we was ready for the green agenda, I'll raise my hand right now, but we're not ready right now. So don't let them fool you like this is a new agenda. This is not the new agenda. We're not prepared. We're not ready right now. What we need to do is keep having those gas guzzling cars because we got the good emission under those cars. We're doing the best thing that we can, but we need help. We need help, and those other people not helping us. China not helping us. India not helping us, but yet we're going to do it all because they spending your money. I promise you.
Okay. Fuck is he talking about? The fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
Somebody gave him
Talking points?
no. Somebody gave him
Head injuries?
somebody explained the new Green Deal to him and how it's supposed to work.
Uh-huh.
And that was his way of interpreting it. That's what happened.
General Motors is putting out their entire line of electric vehicles, I believe, next year. Like the Silverado pickup
Yes.
is coming out.
Well, so
They are advertising heavily.
Of course.
Yes.
So one of the things that I did some research on this thing to see like people talk about how like there's so much more weight, like you have all these precious metals in the electric cars and it's so much more worse for the environment and stuff like that. Getting them, there's only like what was it, like 23 kilograms of like the rare earth materials in it. Like it's such a small like amount comparatively to what you're making, and I know that it's a difficult process to manufacture and get it, but it's just so ridiculous. I mean, it's just so like people comparing apples to oranges and trying to make these fucking arguments. And
People
shit.
are afraid.
Yeah, they
People
are
are afraid. And the biggest thing they're worried about for a lot of people is the range on an electric vehicle, which I completely get. I understand that. We have a Chevy Volt. It has a specific range electric, but it also has an internal combustion engine, which generates power for the electric engine. So it's always being driven by the electric engine. Yeah. So I completely understand range being an issue. We're getting to a point, because we're pushing technology, where you'll be able to add about 100 miles of range in a 15 or 20 minute charge. And that's only going to get better as the technology improves over the next few years. And whether that means you pull into a supercharging station and you hook your vehicle up and then you go in, use the restroom and buy some Twizzlers or whatever the fuck, and then come back out, or whether you pull in and you can swap the battery out like you do with a propane tank for your grill, whatever it may be, these are all things that are going on. You think people weren't bitching about that with internal combustion engines when those first hit? They're like, my horse doesn't run out of fuel. Nope. There aren't any fuel stations anywhere. My horse gets me where I need to go. I don't know what you're talking about. It's being afraid. It's, for the politicians, it's being in the pockets of
Big oil.
The oil companies, the energy companies, and their record-breaking profits, which are driving inflation.
Yes.
Katie Porter pointed that out in the House of Representatives very succinctly.
There is no inflation. I've been waiting for us to get back so that I can
There's
say
no
that.
inflation.
There is no inflation.
Okay.
It is their record profits.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have inflation when people are still looking for people to work?
Well, the inflation is simply the increase of cost.
Right. But generally, the other part of that is the fact that people don't have jobs. So people are looking for, everybody I know is still looking for workers. So this is the other part of that. And so unemployment's like at 2.4% or some shit like that.
And there's 2 jobs for every 1 person.
Yeah. So, and the other part of that is the people that we need to actually prevent us from going inflation are the people that Ron DeSantis and Abbott are fucking playing hide the banana with across the country.
Yeah.
Yes. And nobody wants to say that because then there'll be more of them show up. But we actually need those people because we need workers.
People don't understand. We need fucking.
Of course. So yeah, it's a lot of very interesting
And
things
at
coming.
this point, I think some of it is wag the dog with some of these companies because now they can lay off workers and pretend like
Oh yeah,
it's because of inflation.
Well, Twitter kicked a bunch of people to the door.
Without realizing what some of those people actually did.
Well, and then they did more. Meta is cutting a lot of people.
10,000, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, Amazon.
Amazon 10,000.
Amazon.
that's it.
So Amazon is letting go 10,000 workers virtually the same day that Bezos is going out there and talking about how he's going to give away his fortune
yeah.
because he believes in philanthropy. You don't believe in paying your workers.
Do you know what I say philanthropy is, don't you?
Is it feel good masturbation?
No. It's rich people who fuck people over all their life
Oh, trying to get into heaven.
trying to buy their way into heaven.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's what
I
philanthropy.
thought it was also partly because the way that the estate taxes were back then, it was like 70%, 80%. So like the only way that they could spend the money and have that legacy that they wanted is by creating the Rockefeller Center or the Guggenheim.
Well, there's a variety of things that go with that, but
Fuck them.
Anywho,
Fuckers.
speaking of
Piece of shit.
generations, gentleman in Texas turned 100 years old, 100 years old, and his daughter took him to see some strippers to celebrate being on Earth for a century.
God damn.
Jack Poma recently celebrated 100 trips around the sun, and to mark the special occasion, his daughter Dina took her dad to a Dallas gentlemen's club, The Lodge. His daughter says her father loves two things in life, women generally and boobs specifically.
God damn.
So the strip joint trip made perfect sense for his 100th birthday. Dina says her father hadn't been to a strip club since his youth. And when he showed up to the Lodge Halloween night, he was like a kid in a candy store. The dancers were awestruck. Jack's daughter would take him to the club, but she says her dad only gets one life, so he should enjoy it while he can. It sounds like it's a two-way street. Apparently, the dancers adored Jack as well, with one feeding him pepper pasta as others brought out birthday cake. Dina was guiding her father around the dancers, cautioning that Jack gets a little out of hand when he's excited.
She wins the Daughter of the Year award.
I don't know, man. She could getting him to catch a case.
Jack's wife died 12 years ago, and he had been seeing another woman ever since. But last year, she passed away as well. The folks who own the club tell TMZ that Jack is welcome back anytime. They loved hosting his birthday bash. Well, yeah, I'm sure he made it rain.
Oh, yeah.
made it rain. There you go. What am I looking at here? I'm trying to find what happened. Congratulations to your Steelers, by the way, Kareem, on winning a game this week.
Thank you.
Right after the week after Dr. Oz told everybody to go out and tell them to vote before the Steelers game.
Yeah.
On their bye
Bye
week.
week. Yes. That's how you know you got from Pennsylvania.
Oh, Dr. Oz.
I heard that definitely switched some votes. I heard.
I worked with Dr. Oz on 2 different occasions. He seemed very nice both times.
Yes.
Didn't know he was a puppy murderer at the time. Just saying. Anywho, speaking of Elon Musk, we've been mentioning him. He owns Twitter now.
Yeah.
And Ed Markey. You know who Ed Markey is?
Biz Markey's brother.
I don't think so. Brother from another mother, maybe. He is a senator, United States senator. He tweets, a Washington Post reporter was able to create a verified account impersonating me. Remember the charging $8 for the blue check? Haha. I'm asking for answers from Elon Musk, who is putting profits over people and his debt over stopping disinformation. Twitter must explain how this happened and how to prevent it from happening again. So here's the problem with that. Elon tweeted back, perhaps it's because your real account sounds like a parody. And why does your profile picture have a mask? Yeah. Not not really the best way to go about that. But
He also let somebody buy Eli Lilly's account, and they said that insulin would be free this week, which caused them a shit ton of money. And Eli Lilly has now pulled its advertisement itself from Twitter.
yeah.
So,
But here's the thing. Senator Markey wasn't taking that. I'm trying to find the actual responses here because I did not mark the right thing. But the senator is on a couple of different committees. He mentioned that Elon's car company is being investigated for killing people.
yeah.
As well as a variety of other things that are
Racial discrimination. I think he has 2 suits in that.
that wasn't one of the things that
Yeah.
ironically that wasn't one of the things that that was part of the thing. Let me look it up here really quick. Elon Musk. Here we go. This should have the whole thing. I apologize for not being more readily prepared for this whole thing. Here we go. He replied to Elon, one of your companies is under an FTC consent decree. Auto safety watchdog NHTSA is investigating another for killing people, and you're spending your time picking fights online. Fix your companies or Congress will. Oopsie. Yeah, apparently they've stopped doing the you just pay $8 a month and you can get your own blue check mark.
Actually got in on that.
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
bad.
Well, I mean,
I'm just worried that I would just get banned, I mean, because you can't tell jokes about him at all. The funny thing, it just was so funny, like how he kept changing rules, like for like 2 days after he got, like people would make
right,
like make jokes as him, and like he would get butthurt each day and make a new fucking rule.
He kicked Kathy Griffin off.
Yeah.
Kicked Kathy Griffin off. Said, "Well, that's it. No more for you."
Fucking
Valerie Bertinelli was one of the people who changed her name to Elon Musk, which was really funny. She didn't really make fun of him in the way that Kathy Griffin did, because that he would have been really butthurt by that. Ohio is stupid. I'm just gonna say that Ohio is stupid. I'm not talking about because of Jim Jordan. No. An Ohio woman copped to clobbering a female acquaintance in the face with a 10-pound log of ground beef during a confrontation
What you talking about, Willis?
in the potato chip aisle of a Walmart in
to
suburban
say
Cleveland.
you can only get those 10-pounders from Walmart. I knew it was at Walmart.
In a deal with prosecutors, Monica Garner, who's 27, pleaded no contest to disorderly conduct in connection with her attack last year on a former neighbor. Garner was originally charged with assault. During a court hearing Tuesday, she received a 30-day suspended jail sentence and was placed on probation for a year. Also ordered to pay $155 in fines and court fees. According to police, Garner was at a Walmart in South Euclid when she encountered victim Precious Jackson, who was shopping with her 7-year-old daughter. We talked about this when it happened. Garner was accompanied by her 5-year-old son. So these are two women with children under 10 having a fight in the Walmart with in the chip aisle with beef.
I mean, that
They literally had beef curry.
I mean, those 10-pound logs, like I mean, the 5-pounders like that, so the 10-pounders like that.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, man, I would have loved to have seen somebody get hit in the fucking face with one of those.
I know. My back hurts having to carry mine around.
You can't even fit it in the cart. You can't, like, you put it in the cart and it fucking bends.
That's
Like, you
what
can't.
she said.
Speaking of she's, News from the Miami Marlins. Jason, sports news that you might be interested
All right.
in.
Hit me
Are you
with it.
ready? They have promoted Caroline O'Connor to president of business operations.
Oh.
Now, with Kim Ng as their general manager, the Marlins are now the first U.S. major sports franchise to have women operating the entirety of the team's day-to-day business.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be there like once a month.
Send your complaints to Jason Casey. Jason Casey.
Oh, man.
It's amiable Mr. Right on Twitter, as long as Twitter's still a thing. Send him your messages. All right, let's do some Florida Corner / sex toy news.
Oh, real quickly, but
Yes.
talking about sports for 1 second.
Sports.
What's Wrexham? The
Welcome to Wrexham. Yes.
Have you watched it?
Saw the whole thing.
Oh my god, you need to watch it, bro. Like it is probably for me probably one of my favorite shows that I've watched, and I think it's better than Ted Lasso.
Where's it
It's
on?
different, but I mean
It was on FX, so it's on Hulu.
Okay.
If
It's
you
on
want to
Hulu.
watch it.
I'll look for it.
but it's Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. They bought
I know what you're talking
a
about.
soccer team, which I was like, I don't want to watch. I'm not going to watch this. But I'd watched everything else on the internet, so I watched it. And I was really surprised. Like I watched it like pretty much in a day and a half. All of
So,
them.
to kind of go along with that and the sex toy news, you need to watch the documentary about Jerry Falwell Jr.
That's
Yes.
on Hulu. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll
it's
get
on
to
Hulu.
that. Some breaking football news. There is no longer any undefeated NFL teams.
Oh, Philadelphia lost, huh?
The Washington Commanders beat the Eagles in Philadelphia.
Wow.
In Philadelphia, 32-21.
Wow, they're
Monday Night Football.
they're probably so like that's the worst.
They're being sold, so they're happy. They're
Yeah.
motivated.
All right.
Jay-Z got a little sad. Price just went up $1 million.
My boy Mike Trout will not be happy as he's an Eagles fan, but he'll get over it. So a dispute over a possession of a sex toy turned violent early Saturday and resulted in the arrest of a Florida woman for battering her boyfriend. Responding to a domestic violence situation at a home in Fort Pierce, cops interviewed the male victim who said that he and Chelsea White, who's 34, were having a verbal argument over a handbag and a sex toy that he owned. As the argument progressed, the victim asked White to return the sex toy to him because he owned it. However, White refused to give the sex toy back to him. It is not further described, so I don't know what the sex toy was. Unable to secure the return of his sex toy, the 33-year-old victim picked up her handbag and declared, "I have your bag. Give me back my property, madam." I doubt that he said that. A struggle for control of the handbag followed, with White allegedly kicking and biting the man. The victim's, cops say, punched White to make her stop biting him. After investigators concluded that White was the primary aggressor during the 8:30 a.m. battle, they had an 8:30 a.m. fight over a sex toy.
She caught him with a pocket pussy.
We don't know what it was. Could have been a butt
telling
plug.
you what it was.
Could have been a butt plug. You don't know.
Like, there's nothing worse though. I mean, like when you ruining your day
At
like,
8:30 a.m..
it's like the fucking worst, man. Like ruining your life though, bro. Even worse.
She got up and was like, "Motherfucker, what are you doing?"
Anyway, so
My
yeah.
wife would probably just buy me the pocket pussy. She'd be just like, take it.
Again, you're making assumptions as to what it was, and you don't know. Also in Florida, after being arrested for stealing a wallet that a patron mistakenly left on a Waffle House counter, Juanita Morton reportedly confessed to the theft and gave cops an explanation for her actions. She said, "The money was calling to me."
Yep, get it. I get it.
According to Florida police, the victim paid their Waffle House tab early on a Monday morning, but forgot their wallet on the counter. That wallet contained credit cards and $2,286 in cash. Who carries cash? And that much of it?
Yes.
Drug dealers. That's what I'm telling you. Drug dealers.
I mean, she
Jay-
came. She but she like returned the money.
The 47-year-old Morton was seen on video looking around, putting a hat on top of the victim's wallet on the counter. She then slid the hat and wallet into her hands with discretion. She then quickly left the establishment while her husband and child were left inside the restaurant to pay. Morton, who works at a nursing home, lives about 8 miles from the Waffle House in St. Petersburg. Aided by security footage, police subsequently identified Morton as the theft suspect. During questioning, Morton admitted to swiping the wallet, claiming the money was calling to me. She was arrested on felony grand theft charge and booked into county jail, released from custody after posting $2,000 bond. She does have a rap sheet, including separate misdemeanor theft convictions. So
the money was calling her.
apparently it's not the first time something was calling to her. So where are we? Oh, we're gonna end roughly on time. I like this a lot. All right. So we've had a lot of shitty news this week, as we always do. We've heard a lot of nonsense from Carrie Lake and Herschel Walker. It's time to hear something good about somebody, and it's about Bruce Springsteen. I love this story that he told on the Graham Norton show.
Do seem to go above and beyond. This was, I think, early, back in the 80s, I think. Do you know the story where you were at a cinema. Was it in Denver?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. So you're in a cinema in St. Louis. Take it away. Unless this is a different story. Unless this is a different story. And you tell this story.
I was at a...
Here we go. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here.
Memories.
Okay.
During which Woody Allen is not necessarily so kind to his fans in the film. So I had met a kid in the lobby, was there with his girlfriend, and said, "Do you want to sit with us?" So I said, "Okay."
See, already, I just think that's a hard no, isn't it? You want to sit with us? No. I don't. But no, you did it. You're lovely.
Okay.
You went that.
So I went and I sat, and we watched the movie. And he says, "Is that how you feel about your fans?" So I said, "Well, not so much, right?" He says, "I'm going to go home now. Will you come home and meet my parents?"
You didn't.
I said, "Okay."
Oh, I love that.
And so I went somewhere in St. Louis with this kid, and we walked in the door, and it's about 11 o'clock at night, and he says, Mom, I have Bruce Springsteen with me." And she goes, "Who?" And he runs in his bedroom and comes out with the album and shows her the album cover. Says, "Bruce Springsteen." And of course, then she goes, "Oh my God, let me make him some eggs." And so around midnight, I was sitting in a little house in St. Louis having some eggs with this kid and his mom. And I saw them for decades after that, every time we came to town.
Oh.
That is a nice story.
Yes.
See?
So wait, hold on a second. So Bruce Springsteen's actually like a mensch? He's a nice guy?
He's a nice guy. At least in this story.
At least this story.
At least this, ask his ex-wife. I don't know. There may be stories about Bruce being a dick. I don't know.
I mean, if it's his ex-wife, yeah, she definitely has stories about him being a dick.
Let me tell a little here. Right. His current wife probably does too.
Yeah, your wife has stories, like any
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah, any wife, girlfriend, whatever, has stories about you being a dick. Bruce Springsteen is a fan of one of the bands that I'm a fan of called the Gaslight Anthem, and they just got back together and did a tour. But Bruce Springsteen liked them so much, he asked if he could come out and jam with them on stage. And he's done that a few different times on stage playing their songs, which is just really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, this story from St. Louis is also very cool, but I was just like, it made me feel good. It made me feel good. I want to make people feel good. Democrats are going to control the Senate, maybe the House.
Yes.
And Bruce Springsteen did something nice in the 80s. There you go.
Hey.
And we'll wrap it up with some small town news. Here is a company that I had not heard of until I think last year when I saw they started to open up around, and now they're fucking everywhere. crumble cookies
Oh yeah.
everywhere.
Yes.
Well, they're going to be opening their first location in Vermont, so it's big news. It's big news. They're a Utah-based company founded by two cousins. They're going to open at Finney Crossing next to Jersey Mike's in the Men's Warehouse. A date for the opening was not apparent at the time of this writing. This news is so big, they could not sit on it to get a confirmation date of when the crumble cookies was going to open. My NBC5, who I used to work for, by the way, many, many moons ago, had to get this out there right away.
Okay, so I got this article that I'm working on, and it's about the new crumble cookie place that's coming up. I don't have the date that they're starting yet, but I do have the rest of the story. So I'm ready to go when it's time to
Put it on the web.
No, well, I don't have the date
No,
yet.
put it on the web.
No.
Find something from their website that talks about where they started, who runs them, and then we'll just put that. Crumble Cookies currently has more than 600 locations in 47 states. That's according to the bakery's official website. None of these parody websites.
Yeah.
Is there a blue check mark?
I don't know. They're known for a rotating menu of flavors and signature chocolate chip cookies that come in a bright pink Instagrammable box. What they're known for is using like cereal milk and cereals in their cookies and cookie toppings.
I see.
Because I've actually been there once.
Yeah.
Their cookies are expensive. I mean, they're rich. They're sweet. They're good. By the way, I also have not really had sugar in 2.5 months.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Except for the Great American Beer Fest. So yeah, crumble cookies not on my menu because that is how I'm down 25.
There must be a crazy profit margin in a place like that. Like there has to be a reason that they've like I've never heard of it before yet, and I mean like things explode like that because
They're everywhere.
they're inexpensive and high yield return. I'm sure. Like,
I believe the dozen cookies was $48.
oh yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
Like,
they're big cookies. They're really thick, and there's a lot of sugar in them.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that. And there were a shit ton of people working there.
Yeah.
Like, there's a location in West Sac. Every time I look up, I go, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. I think I was in Auburn the other day. I go, oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
They're fucking everywhere. They're more prevalent than goddamn Subway at this point.
Oh yeah.
But enough free ads for you, crumble cookies. You'll be going down soon, or you won't. I don't know. Maybe they're great. But that's going to do it for this episode of the WTH podcast. It's good to be back. We'll let you know if we'll be back next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening next week. I really don't.
Stuff.
Yeah. I think we're doing a family Christmas photo this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's coming up. But otherwise, I have no idea what's happening. But I think we're back next week.
Let's go back next week. Let's do it again.
Probably. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Toodles.